Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to another live streaming session that it's super late at night and I'm not sure anyone will show up. I usually do this thing like in early mornings during the weekend. Right now it's Wednesday late evening here in Vancouver, Canada. It's 9:30, 9:40 p.m. I'm so tired. I'm so ready to go to sleep. I don't know if I will ever be able to continue to do properly this live streaming, and I'm sure I will not have any audience here because it's really late. It's a really an unusual time. I don't know where you guys are around the world, if like, well, I will have anyone, but hey Lawrence, so probably you're the only one that's gonna be here. So I just got a message in the chat, and yes, this is a live streaming. I'm doing it at 10 p.m. baby, maybe like so yeah, super tired. But let me switch the screen so I can show you my beautiful face. There you go. There I am. Okay, so Marvel asks, did we drink too much coffee today? Not enough. I drank a lot of coffee, but not enough. The thing is that I have a couple of videos, tutorials that I recorded this weekend, but I didn't have time to edit those and release them. So I decided to do this live streaming because I want to try to keep at least the ratio of 2 videos per week published on my channel. So I decided to do this live streaming because I'm doing a lot of things in Vala with Akira. I'm coding a lot of things and I want to showcase. I'm not ready to release the app yet because it's totally bare bone, but I wanted to show you the moment, like at what point I am with the app, and show you all the struggles and all the things that I don't understand and all the issues that I'm having trying to code these applications. So oh, we have a lot of people online. We're like 12 people watching. It's so late. What time is it in your time zone right now? Hello everyone. Hello Suman. Hello Jam. And Herman. I think you guys never catch me. So on during live streaming. So 8:41 a.m. Lawrence says. Oh, okay, awesome. So you're ready to go to work. You should get ready. You shouldn't watch silly videos on YouTube. You should just Twitter 1:43 p.m. 7:43 a.m. and from the Philippines. Oh, all over the world. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. Okay, let me show you what I did with Akira, what point I have, and all the issues that I'm having with this wonderful software. So the things that I was working recently was the layer panel. I don't know if you guys can read these. I think it's pretty readable, right? Yeah, it's pretty big. Oh, by the way, I read a lot recently. If you were wondering why I'm having a light background, it's not like the usual dark resolution of or dark theme of Sublime Text, is that I've been reading a lot on how to help my eye to not get tired as much, because especially coding late at night with a dark theme, you kind of like force, like you, I don't know how to say it, but you push your eye a little bit too much. You force your eye to focus on some white lettering with a dark background. It's like your eyes get tired quicker than having on a white background and dark text on top. So I'm trying this different theme scheme or theme resolution, however you want to call it, and I'm feeling okay. It's kind of weird sometimes. It's kind of like, especially I'm not using as many colors as I'm used to, but I'm seeing myself having like less headaches after long hours of coding. So it's not, yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But yeah, let me show you what I'm doing. So let's see, Akira, where is it? Okay, so Ninja, I don't think I have anything to code. Okay, boom. Okay, this is Akira, and it looks awful, right? Okay, I've been experimenting with these like gigantic canvas here. This is a drawing canvas. It's 10,000 pixels per 10,000 pixels. The thing that I want to try to achieve is like a sort of an infinite canvas that you can zoom in and zoom out a lot, like 900% or like minus 900%. I want to do a lot, like a really, really good resolution for this. So I was experimenting with this circle. This is just like a Cairo generated circle. And we have these massive canvas that is just 10,000 pixels, not much. The thing that Akira still does, as usual, you have some shortcut to hide the layout or the entire UI interface. I don't know if you notice the status bar here at the bottom is kind of animated as this built-in GTK revealer. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it or gonna apply it everywhere else, but I'm not sure. Here we have this menu with a bunch of accelerators and stuff. You can create a new window. We will be able to open a file, save as, and quit the application, of course. We have the add drop down. It's super bare bone and I need to style it. So the add drop down will allow you to quickly select what do you want to add. And also these things will have accelerators. So if you probably A is artboard, V is vector, P. So I'm going to use probably the initial, like the first letter of the name of the shape in order to quickly select with a keyboard shortcut. And probably in shapes, when you click on shape, it's going to open a secondary drawer to have the full list of shapes so you can implement those. I know it's kind of different from the UI, the initial mockup, but I try to build the list, all the tools in line in the top bar, and I was feeling like the space was a bit cramped. I didn't really like the UI that much, but it's okay. Here, the ruler, that is not doing anything, but when you click here, it should make the ruler like around the canvas appear and disappears. The layout, if you click there, is exactly like you tap Control and dot to hide and reveal the layout, but you can start, I call this like presentation mode. When you're done your design, you want to present it full screen without any UI, you can pretty much hide everything. And then we have the preferences panel that actually works. So the in the general, I have an option that you can select if you want to reopen the latest file. If you worked on a file, you save it and you close it, and you have this option checked automatically. When you launch Akira the next time, it will reopen that file. Hopefully it will work. I have no idea. I haven't coded yet. The interface, a couple of interesting things. Of course, the usual switch to dark. Now this panel, I haven't styled it properly, so it's kind of like awful, but has built-in light and dark UI, light and dark theme like the regular GTK, of course. And then we have this little thing that I'm super proud. So when you start using a new application, of course, you don't know what are like these buttons do. These are kind of pretty obvious, but there are like these icons that probably are not super obvious. And I don't want to force the user to go and roll over with the mouse and wait a couple of seconds that the tooltip appears, or like the placeholder. Oh, these toggle the rulers. What does this? Oh, these toggle the layout. What is this? Oh, this is the preferences bar. It's super annoying when you're learning a new software and you have all these icons and you have to roll over one by one and read what they do. So I usually, by default, the UI initializes without the with the description, with the labels of every single button. So everything, the UI is not going to look that great when you open it the first time, but after a little bit, when you get used to the UI, when you get used to the button and you don't need any more those labels, you can update the UI and save your setting by hiding the labels. So when you hide the labels, now the UI is without labels and it's way shorter, the header bar. These will apply to all the other sections where I have some buttons with a label description. All those labels will disappear. So you can use just icons. And I will also give an option, right now it's not like that, but I will also apply an option to turn these icons into symbolic icons. So basically completely remove the colors of the icon and just use the symbolic version of the icons. I hope it will give you, it doesn't give much customization on the UI, but it gives a little bit of customization just to have the UI to be a little bit out of the way. I don't want to spend, like, giving users the ability to customize the UI, it's so demanding in terms of coding that I don't think I will be able to do it. So I will implement those few necessary things that I think are gonna be great in terms of user experience, in terms of ease of use of the application. So yeah, that it is. But usually I just code it in the default style. I'm not doing anything. The thing that I spent 8 days trying to do is this little panel here, like the there's Lawrence asks a question. Doesn't the light versus dark theming take a lot of resources, rating percentage increase of space and RAM? I didn't test this. I'm not sure it does. I don't think so. I think it's just like loading a different CSS into GTK. It shouldn't affect anything, but I will test it anyway. Pretty much all the every single application of Elementary OS has the option to switch from dark to light, and it's a built-in feature of GTK, so it shouldn't load external resources or anything else, and it should just be a CSS style. It should loads a different CSS style, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but of course when the application will be almost ready to launch, I will do a lot of optimization and see if a feature is so heavy that when I'm using it, it spikes the CPU or the RAM usage. I'm just gonna remove that feature. If it's not, if it's just like a regular, like a simple thing as changing the UI from dark to light, I'm not attached to it, so it's fine. But the thing that I was telling you, the thing I was trying to code is this layer panel. So I don't know if you saw one of my previous tweets where I showed the, let me access my Twitter account actually, where I tweeted recently this little image where I built this layer panel here. Can I zoom it? Oh yes, I can zoom it, nice. So this was the image that I tweeted where I had this full layer panel with artboards and different layers and groups and compounded object. Everything was nested nicely and was great. I built this by using the Granite widget that the developers in Elementary OS offer. The Granite widget is basically the same widget that powers, it's not exactly the same, but it's kind of similar. It's a similar widget that powers the files. So if you're using Elementary OS, this is sort of like the Granite widget that you can have. And this widget is amazing because you have built-in capability of like drag. Oh, you cannot do it. Oh, you were able to do it. I have some issues with my system recently. Okay, now you can do it. Oh, it was freezing. Well, you have the built-in capability of drag and dropping elements. You can reorder, and you have this nice line that indicates where your element is gonna drop. And so like zero effort in doing anything. You have this nice rollover. You have these sort of like grouping, like root element that can open and collapse. They have built-in expanders. And if you have nested things, if you have an expandable items and inside you put many items, it creates automatically another expander. The problem is that it has some limitations. Like that layout that I built here was perfect, like looking perfect, but has some limitation. The couple of limitations that I found is that you cannot style this thing with regular CSS. You cannot apply a class to this because these are glib objects, are not GTK objects or GTK widgets. So I cannot apply a class. I couldn't generate a zebra, like different rows of different colors. And I understand that here is not a problem, but imagine a layer panel with hundreds of different layers. And this application will have hundreds of different layers because every time you create a shape or you create something, it will be a separated layers. It's not a pixel related, it's not a pixel based application, it's vector based. So every single shape has to be a separated object. And so imagine having a complicated UI design and having 20 different artboards with 100 elements inside the artboard and nested things. If you don't have every single row with a different, slightly different color separation, visually it's gonna be really hard to identify things. It gets really heavy and really demanding in your eyes. So I didn't have that option. I don't like it. The other limitation that I had is that I cannot drag the root elements. So the root elements are these personal device and network. I cannot grab them and move them around, which is a super bummer because I want to give the users the ability to reorder artboards. The artboards are these elements that are at the root, right? Is the first element. These elements cannot be drag and dropped around. And this is another limitation. And the final limitation is that all these elements that are generated dynamically are glib objects, so are not GTK widgets. And if you haven't never worked with GTK, a GTK widget has way many more options than a glib object. And I'm not good at handling glib objects. I don't know how they work. It's really hard for me. And also the fact that this Granite widget, the source list widget, is a prepackaged closed widget that it was really hard for me to try to extend or override functionality and stuff like that. So I decided to drop it. I decided to build my own layers panel and manage my own things with my own functions and methods. And that's why it took me like 8 days to do something like this. It's gonna be like, it was pretty challenging, but let me show you what I achieved. Let me get a bunch of messages here. Helder said, 3 a.m. in Brazil, please upload this later. Yes, this will be available on YouTube as soon as I've done. What's the name of that Granite library that does the shifts? It's called Granite Source List. So to get the Granite library, you can just go to GitHub and you search for Granite. Oops, I said Granite. Let me zoom it so you can see it. Yes, Granite, and you go to elementary Granite, of course. You can clone this repository, and there are the instructions down here to compile it. We make, cmake, make, install, run, and you just run in the browser, you run in the terminal Granite demo, and inside you have all, like the full library. You don't want to probably touch it, the library folder, because the library is the library of Granite, so where they extend the basic GTK stuff, glib, or all these other stuff. The thing that I usually use when I want to use something is the demo. Inside the demo folder, there are all the different views that you can use. So in this case, there's the source list view of Vala, where you have the full documentation, a full example to generate a really simple source list. The code is really short. You just grab this code, you put it in your application, you launch it, and it works. So it's fantastic. But you can also see how it works by launching the demo, which is super, super handy. But yeah, that's the problem of the source list item. It's a glib-based object that has, for me, has a lot of limitation. I don't know how to use it. I don't know what to do with it. It's my limitation. I'm sure the source list view would have been the best solution for this job, but I couldn't make it work. So I decided to make my own thing, and that's my own thing. So I don't know if you can see it here, but basically we have a GTK grid with a scrolled window. This is a scrollable window. So if I shrink this down, this can be scrolled. Every single artboard, that is the first element, is an expander object. The expander object is inside a list box. So I'm having a list with a list box row. And these lists can be, they have the option to activate drag and drop. So what I did, I was able to finally allow the user to, when you go and roll over and you click and drag, it generates this little ghost element. So I needed to recreate the ghost element manually. And I can show you the code that it's kind of insane. So if I'm accessing the artboard, and the artboard, as I said, is a GTK list box. So my class is extending the list box row class of GTK. And here I have the build drag and drop, and to activate drag and drop functionality to a GTK widget, you have to use this drag source set. So you're saying, hey, this element, this needs to be able to get dragged and set the source. So on drag begin, I connected this my custom little thing, and on drag begin, basically I'm drawing a Cairo image surface that it gets the same width and height of the allocation of this very own widget. By using GTK allocation, you get the sizing of the widget that you're interacting with, and you can access the height and width of the widget. And then with Cairo, and this is really terrible, like Cairo is really convoluted when you need to draw something really simple. I simply drew a square, like a rectangle with border around, and you have to create a new Cairo context and pass the surface that you want to draw. And then you have to set the color that you want to use and the line width. and then I drew the border. I moved the cursor to draw from 0 to 0, then go to full width, then down to the height, then back to the full width, and then back to 0. All these just to draw a border around my element, and that's insane. And then if you want to fill it up, you need to define another source RGBA, the color that you want to fill up, and then draw the rectangle and then fill it up with that specific color, and then apply this drawing to your own row. All these shenanigans just to draw this little thing, this little ghost thing, but whatever. So inside this artboard, we have the built-in GTK expander. So if I click, it opens, and this is just an example. I just put like 4 labels inside. It's not styled, but will look like the image that I show you. And here you have the expander. And the other thing is that my thing allows me to do is that if I don't have any elements, like in artboard 2 and artboard 3, I don't have any elements inside. If I click, it opens, but there's nothing inside. With the GTK, like the Granite widget source list, if I delete something, the root element, if the root element, for example, artboard is empty, it just disappears. I cannot keep a root element that is empty visible. It just goes away, and I couldn't understand how to prevent that, so that was really bothering me. Instead, in this way, you can generate an artboard that is completely empty. You just have an empty artboard, and it's there because it's a separated object. It doesn't interfere and blah, blah, blah. So Elder is saying, please take a Vala GTK course and put it in Udemy so we can buy. I won't put it on Udemy. I will, when I feel more comfortable with Vala and GTK, I will do a series of tutorials for free on YouTube. That's it. If you want to support me, there's the Patreon link. You can pledge $1 per month, and that's it. Or you can pledge $1 and then cancel it after $1. It's fine, but I won't put it on Udemy. I want to keep everything for free for you on YouTube. So I will do, as soon as I figure out this thing and as soon as I feel like I know a little bit better. But yeah, so the thing that I was able to do finally after manipulating everything, I was able to have this nice little effect that you drag it and you see it's highlighting with this little orange, and the orange is the unique color, like the sort of like brand color of Akira is like the logo that indicates where you're gonna drop your artboard. And you drop it there, boom, and it goes there. Now it's artboard 2, 3, 1. So if I want to put the artboard 1 back on top, I go up there. Or if I want to put the artboard 3 before the 2, I put up there, 2 before the 3. Nice, I have this little transition. The thing that I want to do now is that when you want to drop the artboard all the way to the bottom, like at the last position, you can go and roll over on the container. And you can see the container has this highlight thing that is the default GTK highlight, and it's awful like compared to this nice little transition. You can see that also there's this glitch sometimes. I don't know if you know, there's this glitch when I pass between 2 artboards because it recognizes there's 1 pixel space that I can drop it there and just like just like shake it. I want to remove this. I want to have the same type of interaction. I want to have this little glow drop kind of like drop shadow area. And this is a suggestion if you're planning, if you're working with GTK or Vala, if you want to style your application. This is a little trick that it took me like 3 months to learn it. I didn't know it existed, but if you have something like called GTK inspector, and you use this little code, G settings set org GTK settings, but enable inspector key binding. If you have this little G settings set it up for you, and you have an application that you launched from the terminal, so it's not a built-in application that you launch from your app drawer, if you hit Control, Shift, and I, it opens this beautiful inspector that is basically the console inspector of Google Chrome or Firefox or whatever other browser. So you can have this selector and you can go around inside your application and select stuff. You select things and you can access the signals, the properties, and you can access the CSS classes that are assigned to it. So you know what CSS class is assigned to the thing. And the amazing thing is that you can change values. So if, for example, I select the Arbor 2 and I want to change these, where is the property? Just magnify. Oh, I can magnify this, which is fantastic. But if I wanna, where is this? And if I have the list of classes. If I don't like the class, I want to see how it looks without my custom class apply. I can remove the Arbor name and check it and see, oh, this is how it looks without my class. You have the full list of selector, full list of hierarchy. This is really helpful. And in the properties, if you can access the properties, you can change this. So for example, you can say, I set the expanded to true. You can double click and set it to false. If you click on it, it's false, so it's not expanding anymore. You can change property. You have the label, you want to rename it. Instead of label artboard 2, it's artboard edited. So you can also test live your application, how it interacts with massive type of content. And I already see I have an issue here. If the Arbor name is too big, it doesn't get cut, so I need to do something to allow this. And this is like super helpful for quick development. And you have a CSS thing, so you can write CSS in line directly here and see how it looks overall. So you can like GTK window. Let's see if I can edit this thing. Background. Oh yeah, color. Let's go F00 red. Yeah, there you go. So good, huh? And of course, if you close it, it maintains because it's terrible, but whatever, let's shut it down. Let's read a bunch of comments. Sorry, I need to drink. What did you use on the sidebars, panes of boxes? Okay, let me relaunch it again. On the sidebar here, this is a pane panel, GTK pane, and you should not use GTK boxes, but only GTK grids. Only just use GTK grid. Basically, a GTK grid is a better version of the GTK box that from next version of GTK or next update, it's gonna be deprecated GTK box, so you shouldn't use the GTK box. I did a full refactor on Sequeler to just remove all the boxes and put all the grids. And GTK grids works way better than boxes. But I can show you the hierarchy of my application, basically. So we have the window, the main window that launches everything. And in the main window, that is the actual window of the application, we have the header bar, the settings dialogues, all the dialogues, and the main window. Inside the main window, that is inside this Akira layouts main window. So I go inside the layouts folder, main window. I have other publicly assigned layer parts, I would say. The right sidebar is Akira layouts right sidebar. The right sidebar is a GTK grid. Inside the grid that I put inside the pane, I have pane. Inside the grid, I have a pane, and the top panel has the search bar, and the bottom panel has the layer scroll. No, sorry, the top panel is another this is so confusing, but yeah. The top panel of the GTK pane has the search bar and the layer scroll, and the bottom panel has just the word bottom because I didn't code anything here. You can see like it's bottom, but yeah, I'm using that. Another question, even if it's free, please put it in the Udemy, which has more organization at the level of course. No, I won't put it in Udemy. Why should I put it on Udemy? If it's free, it's on YouTube. Why you need Udemy? I don't want to sell my tutorials. I want to keep them for free. I don't want to put stuff in Udemy. I don't like Udemy. They stole, like a lot of users stole my videos and uploaded on Udemy, and people paid to watch videos stolen from me on Udemy. I don't like that platform. That's it. So I'm not gonna use it. Okay, another question from Lawrence. I'm still undecided on containers. What's your opinion? What do you mean about containers? a GTK container. I actually never use a GTK container. I always use a GTK grid or a GTK pane or the GTK window, because the GTK grid is an extension of the GTK container. So it has all those options. I never use the raw GTK container, so I'm not sure I'm doing a good job or it's completely wrong what I'm doing. But let's style something. So as I said, I want to remove this little thing. When I drag and I go and roll over here, it looks really, really awful. So I want to change it. And let's do this. Let's access where I'm doing this. In the layers panel, I have the drag and drop, or like the destination set of the drag habilitated. And on drag motion, I'm connecting on drag motion. And drag motion, the only thing that I'm doing, I'm highlighting. So if I hide this drag highlight, and I go back here and I say ninja, compile, boom. Okay, now if I grab it, of course, now I remove the highlight, so I don't have anymore that awful border thing. But I think that I can do, instead of grabbing the highlight, because this is a list box, so it's a GTK grid, I can add a class. And I can do this on drag layers panel. On the layer scroll is layer panel, GTK list box, layers panel, layers panel, layers panel. I can do this. Let's see how it looks. This get style context dot add underscore class, and let's add a class. I access my style.css and see the rollover arbor hover. We have the box shadow. Instead, these layer panels has already a class, has a sidebar R class, layers panel, sidebar R. So sidebar R, I can put sidebar over, or let's use a more eloquent name. So highlight drop area, something more eloquent like this. Okay, and in the style here, basically I'm gonna use this box shadow, but only the inset box shadow. I don't want to use the top border because I don't like it. Let's say like this. And then what I have to do here on the second action that I'm triggering here, so I'm triggering on drag motion, I'm triggering this function. On drag leave, I need to trigger another function because otherwise that class will remain there, and I don't want that class to remain. So on drag leave here, I'm using the GTK unhighlight to remove highlight, uninstall highlight to remove it. I don't want to use this. I just want to do, hey, this get style context, remove class, highlight drop area. Okay, let's see if I did something wrong. Then I'm going to answer all your questions. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, this is not highlighting. Oh, I guess it's not aligning because this is underneath, so it's not triggering. That's why I was, okay, the layer scroll. The layer scroll is what I need to use, not this panel. So instead of this, let's point to the layer scroll, window, main, right sidebar, layer scroll. And this looks really awful in terms of like clean code, but I will refactor later. What I'm doing, I'm coding and trying. If it works, I refactor it to make it look better. Right now, this is really, really gross. If I need to access this layer scroll, I can pass the layer scroll to this application many, many times. Ninja. Right sidebar, ninja. GTK. Okay, this is not happening, so let's see that a highlight drop area, Okay, so let's do this. Let's copy this class So this is not working. So I don't know why it's not working, but I think I can do, I can open this thing and open the inspector, select this scrolling thing, and see the hierarchy here. Arbor, GTK, GTK scroll window. This is the scroll window. So I can say that the GTK scroll window, GTK scrolled, what's this? Scrolled window. Box shadow inset is not working. So is the scroll window doesn't have, can I set a background color F00? Okay, so this is not styled. This is not styled, so I cannot do this. I cannot change this. Okay, so this is not working. That style is not working. I don't know why. It's styling another GTK scroll. So let me reselect this. The viewport is the iframe. Okay, layers panel. This is the layers panel. GTK viewport. This is the layers panel. It's the layers panel, sidebar R. So can I style the sidebar R? Sidebar R. Nope. I cannot style this. Yeah, I cannot style, oh, the dot, sorry. Yes, I can style this. So can I put the box shadow? No, I cannot put the box shadow. Can I extend this to like 10 pixel? Okay, I see, it was invisible. Is the style that it's an issue, so it's to, oh, did I select the wrong text shadow? Oh yes, I think I selected the wrong box shadow, sorry. I selected the wrong box shadow, so that style sheet is -2, inset 1 pixel. Okay, 0, 3 pixel, RGBA. Okay, oops, let's reopen this. Akira, come on back up. Okay, 0, 3 pixels. Here I don't want anything. Okay, okay, so now we have 2 pixels. Okay, I can style it to that, but not. Okay, this is the correct, this is visible. But I don't want the full sidebar. I just want the GTK viewport, the frame. How do I access this? Because I have, this is like the list sidebar, the list. Oh, it's the list. This is the list. So if I put the class to the list, yes, it works. But it's not on top. It's not on top. Why is it not on top? If I set a border, what happened? Border 1 pixel, solid. Red. Just to brutalize this. No. Border 3 pixels. No, I cannot set a border to, oh, it's there, but it's hidden. So okay, I mean, I can do that by extending maybe these to 3 pixels. Yes, let's use this. Let's use this. Okay, so the sidebar R, where the element is getting the sidebar R, it's the element that I want to have. So is the list, and I need to apply to the list box. So I can revert back to this element, add the list box. Yes, it's working. Lovely, look at that. It aligns properly the area where you can drop it, or it aligns the section where you're gonna drop it, which is fantastic, I guess. I think so. Or maybe like should align just the bottom, or you can align it. Yeah, you can drop it like the drop area. But the thing that I want to do now, here we have a nice transition. Here we don't have a nice transition. It's just like abrupt, and I don't like it. I want to give it a transition. To give it a transition, I can remove this highlight thing here. And I can remove this highlight at the bottom here on drag leave. To give it a transition, we can generate transitions in the CSS style by specifying simply transition, what we want to transition, the time and the ease. So it's really similar to regular CSS, but it's slightly different to regular CSS. So we can set that these sidebar R, where is the class sidebar R? What is the class that I'm affecting? As a transition of all, I could transition only the box shadow maybe. Let's see if no. Akira. Yes. See, nice transition. It's smooth and crispy, like I like it. Another thing that I generated here was the auto scroll when you go and roll over on something and auto scroll the thing. So that's perfect. So it's not the prettiest thing ever, of course. That could be improved a million times, but I think it's good enough. It's not in your face. It's not disruptive. It represents the proper location where your thing is dropping. And it's okay. I'd say it's okay, right? Please tell me it's okay. Okay, let me answer a bunch of questions. So Lawrence asks if I know any library that works with reading data from a file. Like bringing in data from JSON to your app. No, I don't know, but you should take a look on GitHub too, and he's gonna aid me for this probably, but you should take a look at SpiceUp. SpiceUp is the application that Felipe wrote, and SpiceUp has built-in save file and load file, and it saves in XML, and it generates something, and it reads all your things in XML. So the application is SpiceUp here. You have a presentation, it generates a presentation, and it remembers, like, it saves all the things dynamically as an XML file, and saves all these sections in the XML, and then it reads, when you want to reopen this file, it reads your presentation files and elaborates all the things and represents all those objects. I think he wrote something custom. I don't think he's using a library, but check that source code on GitHub, see how he did it, and if he built something, or you have to build a parser, it exists I don't know if it exists the libraries, but I'm sorry. So sorry. Nice explanation in grids. I was using HTML language to describe containers for layout. Oh yes, it's okay. Can you use Flexbox in CSS? No, you can't. The CSS of GTK, it's really limited of the things that you can do. GTK CSS, not transition. Yeah, if you go to the GNOME developer overview, you have the full list of available CSS nodes that you can use, all the things that are working, all the things that you cannot do, and so on and so on. So it's kind of like, it's good because it's CSS. It's kind of like, okay, it looks familiar, but it's kind of limited of the things that you can do. There are a lot of like newer things you cannot do it. Flexbox it's not available, unfortunately, but that's why we have GTK grids and stuff to build the layout. So I did this, which was okay. I mean, you see how long it takes just to build a little simple I'll roll over, highlight something. I think I'm gonna change it to highlight the bottom of this thing instead of everything. But yeah, now I have these arbor stuff that you can generate the arbor. So next step is gonna be creating classes to generate layers and allow layers to have the ability to generate groups dynamically. So if you select 3 layers all together, and another thing that I love about this, well, it's not selectable now because I deactivated, but you can select this thing. I will allow to select it later. The thing that these layers needs to do is that if you select 3 of the layers together and you hit Control G or right click, create a group, these 3 layers should be packaged inside an expander. So a little expandable layer that has the little icon of a folder, so you can open and close the group. And another limitation of the Granite widget is that if you have something inside a group, you cannot drag it into another group. So if I have these, the like 3 elements that are inside a group, I cannot drag it outside the group, which I don't like it. I think the user should be able to drag an item, especially in a design element, in a design UX design tool. If you have an item or an object that is inside a group, you should be able to just drag that item outside the group without ungrouping the entire group. Just one item, you drag and drop it outside, and it gets released from the group. So I guess that's another thing. That's another reason why I'm coding my own layer panel. Lauren says, thanks so much for the info, Alex. The live code you have shown in 3 videos is comparison to the whole load of videos in the view. The live code you have shown in 3 videos in comparison to the whole load of videos on YouTube about Vala. Oh, you're like, the things that I showed during my live, it's better like compared to what it's available right now on YouTube. Yeah, no, there are not many resources on Vala and GTK about this thing. So okay, this is Akira. The last thing that I want to show you is the little thing that I tweeted before, or I put an Instagram picture. Look at that. Look at it. Little Akira sticker, and I have a bunch of sticker custom that I ordered from Sticker Mule, and these are like so cute. I'm dropping stickers. These are so cute. I'm so excited. I'm gonna like remove the sticker of System 76 from the Gazelle, and I'm just gonna put this, and it's gonna look like a Star Trek thing. I know it totally looks like a Star Trek symbol, but I kind of want it to be super geeky and super nerdy, so I love this, and I think it's fantastic. But yeah, I have this custom sticker. This was just a sample order. Probably when Akira will be kind of ready to be released, I will do a giveaway with this thing. The giveaway, I don't know, I have to decide how to do it, but I will do a giveaway with this and maybe other stickers, and maybe, I don't know, an early release of Akira giveaway, like you can access, you have Akira first package just for you if you want to use it. I don't know, it's just like a whole thing. But for sure I will spread this little thingy because are awesome and I'm so happy about it. But that's it. This was a really strange live streaming because it's really late and I'm really tired. So it's 10:30 p.m. and I have to go to bed. I coded really like nothing tonight, so I spent 1 hour in explaining how Akira works and what I did, and the only thing that I did was I'll roll over, create a little box shadow inside a layer. It's just like takes so much to code this thing. This is just insane. Before I used to, like, whenever I used to use like Inkscape or GIMP or whatever other free software and the software wasn't working as I expected, I was like, oh, this is so stupid. Why the developer cannot make it work as I wanted to? Now I have so much respect with all the developers in the open source and pretty much every developer that works with software. It's really hard to make. It crashes so easily if you do something wrong. Web development is 1,000,000 times easier than software development or desktop or whatever. So tired. But okay, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much, guys, for checking this video. If you like it, give it a like, a subscribe. You have all the bunch of links in the description if you want to check. Help me out on Patreon, support me, whatever. And let me know if you want to actually see a full series about Vala. Like, I could do a series of tutorial on how to build a really small application, maybe a calculator. So, like, something really simple just to show you all the things that we could do with Vala and maybe show you the process of publishing the application on the App Center. So let me know what you think. If you want it, just let me know in the description. And if I have a lot of requests, I will do it. But thank you, so tired. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And until the next video, as usual, happy coding. And let's go to sleep.